Yo, Jimbo back with another video, and just as I mentioned in the previous video before, this is the Renegade Motorsports Shortshifter V.2 installation. So enough talking, let's get started. So before I like to do any form of interior upgrades or mods to this car, I just have to put the top down first and foremost, just because it's better to have it open when you're doing this type of stuff. More light, more convenient. So all right, so first things first, we're gonna take off the shift knob, and since I already put the spoon shift knob on the stock shifter, because I couldn't wait, I just wanted to slap it on there and just see what it felt like, what it looked like. So I might put it on the short shifter. I'm not sure, but I still want to put the Mugen one on first before this one. So since this one has like a little screw, we're gonna use this little Allen wrench to take this little screw out on the back. Make sure we don't lose it. Put it in a little baggie. This is pretty much out there. A little box, so we don't lose it. Take this little nut off. Alright, so the next step is going to be taking off this whole entire center panel right here. So you're going to want to pull it from here, in the corner right here, and then this side right here, until the little tabs pop out. Make sure it should close down. It should come up. Try to be careful with it. Oop. Just like that. There's two connectors for the soft top. The unplug. Throw this to the side. So as you can see here, the next step is gonna have to be taking off this little white ring right here. Before you take it off, there are some indicators on here to let you know where you pry it off. There's 4 of them. There's that indicator like that, this one right here, and then there's another one here. It's hidden under all this dirt and grime. So there's one on each corner, that one, and then same thing on that side too. Yeah, see, 1, 2, 3, and then the last one is 4. So I'm gonna take the time on this part to pretty much vacuum this whole entire thing and just clean it off, because it's dirty and I'd rather have it clean. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so I cleaned most of it off. Hopefully that works. So now the next part, we're gonna pry the little ring off. So what I'm doing now is I'm inserting it behind the little arrow and pushing it forward. Ooh, this boot is torn up. That's not good. That's not good at all. Yup. All right, so we're back where I left off. As y'all could see in the previous scene, this whole entire part right here where the transmission was at was all shifted to the right. So it had to go back to the center. The mounts were messed up. I had to replace them. So this is another reason why I didn't continue to put on this shifter to begin with, because you don't want to cause more damage to your car, especially if it's your daily driver like this one. This is my daily driver, so I got to make sure everything is working properly. So this next part, we're gonna pull on this boot this little boot tab right here. All right, so pull on this tab, pry your fingers in it, and kind of like spin it to the side, and then you'll be able to see these bolts. This 1, 2, 3. I believe those are 10 millimeter. There is a spring in here, so just make sure the shifter doesn't fly up or just smack you in the face or something. Whatever it does, you know, it is a spring, so it might pop off. Okay, so should have 3 bolts right here. So before you take this off, pay attention to how you're taking it off, because there's a particular way to put it back in as well. That way you don't put it backwards. So I'm just gonna slide it upwards like so. I'm gonna leave the spring in there, and then just pay attention to it. As you can see, when I pulled it out, this flat part right here on the bottom, it's gonna go in that direction. As you can see, this is the lifetime of the car, never been replaced, never been checked. Doesn't look too bad. Well, I mean, as far as the condition, like, it doesn't look beat up, but what is this? This caliper grease? It smells like caliper grease. Oh, well, anyways, this thing is gonna be brand new. So as you can see, this shifter is tilted to the right. So pay attention to the indentation. There's an indentation right here. And then make sure this flat part right here on the bottom goes straight down like that. That way you don't get confused in putting it backwards or forcing it in or stuff like that, because I know certain people tend to do that. I know I tend to do that. We're gonna do a comparison with the other one. All right, so the next part, as you can see, we're gonna do the comparison on this shifter. So remember, this part goes on the driver's side, so it's gonna go flat side right here, and it's gonna go in this. Make sure this indentation goes in like this. Just imagine this is the driver's side, this is the passenger side, and you're gonna slide it in like so. That's how you're gonna do it. So this next part is gonna be the messy part. Gonna grease everything from inside the ball, from the outside, from all the way over here, just like this, just like the old one. So you gotta make sure you grease it up completely. Like, don't be stingy with the grease. And on this pack, it does come in with it does come with a pouch. So this is the riser, the steel lock ring. We're gonna find out where that goes. And 3 hardware bolts. 3 bolts that you took off. It's long enough to make all this, the whole entire kit to work. And they sent us a little grease. I don't think this is enough, to be honest. So make sure you always have like a little super high temp grease on reserve. Have enough of it. This is brand new. I haven't used it. So we're gonna get started on the grease part. Okay, so on this next part right here, what I'm gonna take the time to do is I'm gonna take this spring out. I don't think there's any orientation to put the spring in. I'm just gonna clean it up, possibly re-grease it again, and I'm gonna clean up all the old grease on here. I'm gonna use some brake cleaner and just have it nice and clean, and yeah, just put the shifter back inside with fresh grease and a nice clean little slot to slide it in. Oh, okay. So I had a little scare. Like little pieces of this foam stuff fell in the little hole, and I get super paranoid when that type of stuff happens. But anyways, so I cleaned up the inside of the shifter. As you can see, it's nice and clean. Let me see if I can get a better angle. You get the idea. But it's nice and clean. Let me see. See, nice and shiny. I cleaned up most of the grease that I could reach. And all right, so once you already greased the walls for the shifter, now I'm gonna put the spring back in. It's already nice and clean, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna get greased up again. So I'm just gonna slide it in like so. So the spring's in. We're not gonna reuse any of the boots or anything that it came with, so it's gonna be these bolts from now on. Just keep these little 3 small bolts, put them away somewhere, keep them, whatever you want to do with them, whatever. So now we're going to put in the shifter like so. Maybe I do have to slide this in. All right, so I had to feel it out and see. As you can see, it's on there. The spring is underneath it, so I'm gonna have to hold on to it, and I think I'm supposed to slide this into the ring. Make sure the holes are aligned properly. I'm gonna hand tighten these things right now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is tighten. It's slightly tight for right now. Before, I just want to make sure it feels okay. Whoa. Whoa, that feels crazy. All right, so from what I noticed, it is extremely short. They're not kidding, guys. They're not kidding with this Shortshifter. This is a real deal, and it feels crazy. This. If you're not careful, you could easily not miss a shift, but grind a gear for sure. So what I'm gonna do, make sure this thing doesn't come off. I read on the Renegade Motorsport website, the torque for these 3 bolts is 7.2. So try not to over torque it. I do not have a torque wrench myself, but hand tightened it. I believe hand tightening might be okay. As long as you make sure these bolts aren't loose, you don't leave them loose or give them a chance to rattle loose or whatever. Yeah, I think you might be okay. But if you have a torque wrench, 7.2, that's the foot-pounds of torques that these bolts are gonna need. But nonetheless, so this is the shifter. You can see really short compared to the, see, this is a neutral, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and the reverse, press down, and I'm gonna put all this stuff back together. I might slide this boot back in, I'm not sure, because it is torn. But yeah, I think I might do it. So now I'm gonna put everything back together and put it, like, have it nice and clean. Alright guys, so there you have it, the Renegade short shifter. I put the Mugen shift knob on here. See, look, this is how, oops. See, that's what I mean. You're gonna miss a shift on this. Definitely something I have to get used to. Man, it feels super tight. It feels great. I can't wait to test drive it and see how it feels. That's gonna be the next video. Please stay tuned for that. You're gonna definitely get my impressions on the spoon motor mounts that I paired up alongside with the Renegade short shifter. And I put the Mugen shift knob. I had the spoon shift knob on the stock one. I don't know, man. I like this one. I like this one. This shifter a lot. It feels nice. I always like the ball shifter, but this one feels nice too. I might swap in between depending on how I feel. I don't know, but yeah. So that's gonna be the end of this video. Please stay tuned for the next one that I'm gonna put out. It's gonna be the short shifter impression and reviews along with spoon motor mounts. You know, with the whole entire thing, how the car feels and how it performs on real world streets. So please stay tuned, guys. So this is gonna be it. Jimbo out.